Bitcoin has just flipped, well, really, the expectations of traditional portfolios. And the implications of that are pretty damn big. Wall Street, of course, is watching all this, both hating it and at the same time licking their lips in anticipation of all the money they're going to make off the fees. Right now, the Bitcoin price struggling to get up to its next rally. Big altcoin news as well. We've seen crazy things happening for altcoins. Market like way mega overheated, but at the same time, completely just starting off, and we have so far to go still. Some thoughts on all that for you as well. Of course, shout out to everybody joining today. Welcome. I'll see you guys here on YouTube. I see you guys over on X. Welcome to the party. And of course, you're watching this later. Enjoy the replay. Of course, as always, we're going to be diving into all this exciting news in the first half, answering your questions in the second half of the stream today. So I think without any further ado, let us get into what the heck is going on in crypto today, man. Take a look at the price of Bitcoin first. Around 43K. Now we did have a move the other day to $45,000. Very exciting. It's the weekly chart, of course. Starting off our new weekly chart with a little bit of red. I mean, you guys got to keep it. You got to keep it in a little bit of perspective here. We've had an insane rally. I think we are due for a red week. If nothing else, just because, come on, man, everyone's out shopping for the Christmas presents. We all know the Bitcoin ETF's coming in a few weeks. Just do some quiet spot accumulation. Don't rock the boat too much. Let everybody go out and buy their damn Christmas presents, okay? Come on. You know, when Bitcoin's pumping, we all got to check our phones like 1,000 times a day. No, you don't need to check your phone 1,000 times a day, but it gets very exciting. That's one of the challenges almost of a bull market. Bear markets are challenging because everyone's depressed and angry, and you're just sitting the whole time going, I'm an idiot. And then the bull markets come and suddenly I'm a genius and everything's like, oh my gosh, I have to invest in literally everything that I see all the time. Everything's the new paradigm of money. It's exhausting. We are due a correction at some point here, though. I mean, we can keep even a small correction is bound to come at some point. But we can really just keep moving into this Bitcoin ETF hype rally right into January. But hey, maybe this is the week we finally get a little bit of a correction. Scalping Pro here with a nice little chart showing, hey, what would a correction look like if we saw what is a pretty standard sized correction actually in a bull market scenario of around 21 to 22%. Those corrections happen all the time. If you go back and look at 2017, I forget the exact number, there was like 8 or 9 massive corrections ranging between 20 to 40%. Ouch. Same thing in 2020, 2021. Huge corrections, 20, 30, 40%. We even had a 50% correction. Some people even say it was the end of the cycle, of course, in mid 2021, but we did have that massive rally at the end of the year, getting us up to the new all-time high for Bitcoin as, of course, El Salvador legalized Bitcoin for legal tender within the country, which is a damn big move. Mr. Halozani saying, buy high, sell low. You know the blueprint. Oh, yes, our favorite. Gosh, human psychology is a wacky thing, isn't it? When the price is up here at 45K, the lizard brain turns on and says, it's time to buy. And let's say that we got an actual decent correction. Now, look, here on his MAGS chart here, a 22% correction for 45K would bring us down to about 35K. It would bring us down to about 35K now. That would get us back below this key area of price resistance around 42K, right? And so it seems like a long way back down now, doesn't it? Long way back down, but actually be coming right down to test the previous areas of key support. If that were to happen, if we got something so dramatic happen with basically being on the eve of Bitcoin ETF approval, we might have to wait until after Bitcoin ETF approval. Maybe we'll get a little bit of sell the news. That's a little bit. Come on, Bitcoin. People out there have money on the sidelines and they want to get in. The problem, though, is that if you do get a big correction like that, people are usually afraid to buy. Again, the lizard brain tells you to go all in at 45K. If it goes down to 35K, you're like, nah, that thing's a scam. I'm not. This is going down to 10K. It's over. Pack it up. Good night, Bitcoin people. Bye. And then it goes up to 50K and the lizard brain comes back on. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. I should have bought it at 35K. I have to buy now because it's going to go up to $1 million tomorrow. Anyway, you guys know how it works. Be careful out there. Don't let You be your own damn worst enemy. Yo, come on. Come on. Bobby Digital, thanks for super chat, man. He's saying Multiverse X E-Gold. E-Gold. Got a big bag of E-Gold, by the way. Of course, as always, cryptocurrency investing is risky. You're probably going to lose all your money. And if you ever want to know what I have in my portfolio, there's a link for that in the description of this conversation. Okay. Anyway, yes, E-Gold has been pumping. It's been beautiful. In fact, a lot of altcoins have been moving pretty damn big. And we're going to get into the altcoin conversation here in just a minute. But I wanted to share this with you. And this is what Bitcoin has flipped. Bitcoin has flipped the traditional portfolio. So VanEck, big Bitcoiners over at VanEck, by the way. VanEck saying that the 60-40 portfolio, this is 60% bonds, 40% stocks, the safe portfolio, the boring portfolio. Boring. Come on. Bonds. Get out of here with your bonds. Bitcoin's my bond, man. Satoshi knew. Anyway, this idea of the 60-40 portfolio, it has been pushed by, well, asset managers the world around for a very long time because it, talking up their own books, right? Hey, yeah, we got some bonds here for you. Oh, yeah, what do you want, some index funds? Yeah, we got some index funds. We got some ETF products here for you. Yeah, buy ours. Yeah. So take that sweet commission. We'll take that sweet annual fee. It'll be great. But realistically, had you dollar cost average into Bitcoin, instead of buying U.S. Treasury bonds, everybody's running out. I want to buy Treasury bonds because they're yielding like 5%. So good. 5%. And guess what? Had you simply dollar cost average into Bitcoin, you'd be up like, what, 75% right now or something like that. Of course, if you gone all in on Solana or something, you'd be way up. Or Avalanche. My boy, AVAX, what are you doing? Going crazy. But here's the thing. A Bitcoin-only portfolio, instead of bonds, instead of any stocks, you would have outperformed the 60-40 portfolio this year. Most years, basically. Only in those hardcore bear market years is that portfolio going to outperform. Just in that year would the 60-40 portfolio outperform. In other years, the other 3 years that are not the horrible bear market, gnashing of teeth, pulling of hair year that we get every 4 years, in those other years, Bitcoin outperforms so dramatically a boring 60-40 portfolio. It's not even funny. It crushes it. It crushes it so bad that even when you get a 70% drawdown later on, you're still so far dramatically ahead in profit than you would have been holding a 60-40 portfolio. It's not even funny. And here's the thing. If you added 1%, 2%, 3%, so let's say you're still super conservative and you want to do the 60-40 portfolio. Okay, great. We're not giving investing advice here anyway, so you do what you want to do with yourself. But here's the facts. Anybody who has had a 60-40 portfolio and turned it into like a 59-40 or a 58-40 or a 57-40 portfolio, adding in 1, 2, or 3% Bitcoin, has dramatically outperformed anybody who didn't have Bitcoin in a 60-40 portfolio. So if you have a 57-43 portfolio, 3% being Bitcoin, of course, your outperformance potential for the last 10 years has been unbelievably high. For the last 5 years has been unbelievably high. For the last year has been unbelievably high. People are waking up to this. People are waking up to this on the eve, of course, of a Bitcoin ETF approval coming in a few weeks. Hashdex, one of the guys trying to get a Bitcoin ETF, by the way, forecasts U.S. access to spot Bitcoin ETF by Q2 2024. Interesting. They're putting that as the latest, of course. I know we have a lot of hope, faith, expectation of a January 5th to January 10th approval for a spot Bitcoin ETF. But, oh, gosh, I almost hope, by the way, that it's not going to happen. I really, really do, because if it doesn't happen in January, of course, I hope that does happen because I want the liquidity to pump all our bags, yada, yada, right? But let's say it doesn't happen in January. Can you imagine the market chaos? Because everybody's expecting January 5th to January 10th, and I still think it's a very good chance. But what if it doesn't happen? Well, I'm not sure I'd want to be in any leverage positions on the day. You might see a bit of whipsaw price action, but if it doesn't happen, well, you might be getting a great buying opportunity. That's probably the simplest way to put it. I would welcome that, to be honest. And then maybe, hey, okay, final date's March. Boom, BlackRock gets it in March. Everybody gets it. Q2, they start trading. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. All of our bags go to the moon. Great. I could see it. I could see it. Again, everybody's saying January 5th, January 10th is when we're most likely to see a Bitcoin spot ETF approval. But, when everybody's saying the same thing, you never know. And of course, the idea of the 60-40 portfolio and what's going on with the spot Bitcoin ETFs and all that stuff, it's not that, Wall Street's watching this stuff. Most Wall Street institutions really want to get into Bitcoin and they want to have part of that business. JP Morgan, though, Jamie Dimon's still stuck in 2017, where he's saying, if it was me, I would just shut it down tomorrow. Jamie still does not understand how Bitcoin works. Why does anyone keep asking Jamie damn Dimon about Bitcoin? If anybody not to ask about Bitcoin, might as well go ask Warren Buffett what he thinks about Bitcoin again. Oh, it's rat poison. Okay, Warren. We all know you did a lot of great stuff and you're a great investor, but man, just come out and say, look, Bitcoin, I don't really understand enough about it to make a comment. That's it. And then at least when people say, oh, well, you should learn more about it. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't understand enough about it to make a comment. I'm sorry. That's all you got to say. And people will go, well, okay, fine. Versus like, it's terrible, it's rat poison. I would shut it down tomorrow if I could. Jamie Dimon. Jamie, that's not how it works. That's not how it works, man. The American government can't shut down the Bitcoin. That's the point. Anyway, besides JP Morgan, basically every major Wall Street institution wants a piece of that sweet Bitcoin pie. And of course, JP Morgan is very deep into crypto in a lot of different ways and has started, of course, offering these kind of products to their high net worth clients. Although for the plebs, if you have a JP Morgan bank account and you want to go buy Bitcoin, they're probably going to shut your bank account down. If you have $100 million, you may call up your JP Morgan broker and say, I want to buy $1 million of the Bitcoin. They'll say, yes, sir. Please, sir. Of course, sir. Because that's how JP Morgan works. That's the kind of institution they are. Big week, as Toshi Flipper pointing out here, big week. Lots of stuff going on, guys. We have new inflation numbers coming in. We have old man Papa Powell coming out talking about the interest rates and all that stuff. Big macro events that could bring volatility into the markets. So hold on to your butts. Be prepared for some volatility around these events, up or down, depending, of course, on how those events go. Will we finally get an interest rate cut? Will we get an indication of when interest rate cuts are coming? Watch out. We'll get some announcements pretty soon. So we'll, of course, be updating you later in the week, depending on how those announcements go. Before we get into the rest of the news, rest of the charts, if you don't have a BYBIT account yet, get it checked out. Best damn place to be trading crypto. If you want to trade futures, they got you covered. You want to trade exotic hotspot altcoins, they got you covered. Copy trading, and you get up to $30K in deposit and trading bonuses, depending on how much you deposit, how much you trade, by using that link down below in the description. Thank you very much. Let's take a quick look at some altcoin charts before we dive into the news. It's been a wild few weeks for altcoins. Really, really has been, like, very impressive price action going on recently. I mean, look at Avalanche, man. Again, I let my greed get the damn best of me. Now, look, I have a big fat stack, to be very clear, of AVAX. Some I bought dramatically higher. I was able to tax loss harvest and some of that stuff, so that was at least okay. I bought some pretty good bags during the bear market as well. One at like $22, which was not great, but then like a few more at like 12 and 11 or whatever. So, we got some decent entries on Avalanche during the bear market. Not the best, could have done better, but okay. Now, I was looking at it the other day at like $23, and it had just dipped to like $20.50. I was like, okay, I want to buy a big bag of AVAX. This sucker's going to go up to like $30, and I want to buy it at like $20. Didn't happen. My desire did not happen. The price did not come to where I wanted it to. Instead, I got left sidelined. And again, I have a big spot bag of AVAX. I wanted to make a big fat trade, put some money on the table, say, dealer, spin that roulette wheel, man. Let's make it happen. Well, here we go. It is up 60% in the last week. Very impressive move. People are really starting to wake up to what Avalanche is as an asset. We're seeing meme coins taking off on Avalanche. We're seeing like Trader Joe going crazy. It's doubled in price in the last week. Big things. Gaming hype really building up for Avalanche in particular. Now, what's interesting is everyone's really talking up right now, Avalanche Gaming in particular, but there's some pretty cool looking games that have been coming out in the not so distant future for Solana. Then everyone's going to be talking about Solana Gaming. Watch out for that to come. Because it will. Because it will. Injective. You know, it's crazy. I've got a big bag of Injective. I used to have a much bigger bag of Injective. And I reduced that position during the bear market. Yeah. Never sold all my Injective because I was like, you know, Injective, good blockchain, definitely want to keep it. But I got my final release from my venture round during the bear market. And I was like, nah, I've already got enough Injective. I'm just going to sell this one for cash. That was a costly mistake. But hey, you know, this is what happens. It's not about how much you make, but how much you keep, right? So at the end of the day, anyway, I bring this up because we're all going to make those kind of mistakes. And, you know, what's happening at different times in the market, you never know what you need cash for or why you might want to take cash or what else you might want to put it in. And you're always going to sell things, some things too early, or you're going to sell some things too late and blah, 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 blah. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about making sure that whatever you're doing, you're making money. Right? That's the key thing. Try not to buy high, try not to sell low. Try to buy low, sell high when you can. If you're taking profits on something and it's in profit and you've made profits, then just remember you did okay. You did okay. But always keep a moon bag, man. Always keep a moon bag. I kept, again, a good stack of Injective. Should have kept more. Should have rebought. Should have, right? But you're going to experience that a lot. I struggle sometimes because I have such big fat crypto bags, and I look at it sometimes. It's like, do I really need to buy more of this coin? And later I'm like, yeah, I should have bought more of that coin. What are you gonna do? Hey, somebody else buying coins, by the way. Hong Kong gaming firm Boya Interactive International, publicly traded Hong Kong company specializing in online card and board games, is asking their shareholders to be able to buy $100 million worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum and $10 million in stablecoins. Interesting. I dig it. More companies are going to do this. We've had a few other companies do this as well. There's like May2, which I think is a Japanese company, I think. And they bought like $100 million, $50 million, something worth of ETH. And then you had, the OnlyFans company. They bought $40 million or something like that worth of Ethereum a few months ago. Like, companies more and more are waking up and putting company treasury assets into crypto. And it's going to continue. Michael Saylor proved the point. Currently billions of dollars in profit just by dollar cost averaging the whole damn bear market. Michael Saylor has been dollar cost averaging since 2020 into Bitcoin, bought all kinds of tops, whatever, and he's billions of dollars in profit. Companies are understanding that, and they're deciding not to fade it. Here's a great point from Altcoin Daily, by the way. I love this. They said there are 22.7 millionaires in the United States. Each one couldn't accumulate one whole Bitcoin if they tried. Think about that for perspective, because it's absolute insanity. There are more millionaires in America than there are Bitcoin. And of course, 1.5 million Bitcoin hasn't been mined. 4 million Bitcoin probably lost forever. So realistically, only half of the millionaires in the United States could buy one Bitcoin. But then that's 11 million people. How many Bitcoin on exchanges? 2 million. Right. So let's dial that down again. So each millionaire in America can only buy 0.2 Bitcoin if they get Bitcoin off exchanges. Let's assume not all the Bitcoin on exchanges even for sale. They can only buy 0.1 Bitcoin each. If we were to evenly spread it out, which is not how it works, of course, but it is a player versus player market. And you either understand that and accumulate, position yourself, or you can buy a BlackRock Bitcoin ETF for $500,000 10 years down the road. Just how it is. Just how it is. Everybody has an equal opportunity to get this Bitcoin, but that equal opportunity will not last forever. Well, this was an interesting one shared by Crypto Cordial, showing performance of different cryptos versus Bitcoin. So performance against BTC. This is often a measure that's used in crypto. Now, look, if you're not playing the BTC game, that's one thing, but it is worth keeping in mind, because had you held some of these different coins versus just holding Bitcoin, you would have underperformed in 2023. Now, there's going to come a time, probably in 2024, maybe in early 2025, when that won't be the case. And Bitcoin is going to underperform massively versus almost everything in the market as altcoins just rage like crazy. Right now, Bitcoin is in a situation where, because of the Bitcoin ETF, because of the upcoming Bitcoin halving, because of all this institutional adoption, institutional chatter, all the stuff that's going on, it's outperforming. Doesn't always work like that during the cycle. But during a lot of the cycle, Bitcoin tends to be the safer bet and does outperform a lot of altcoins. Worth keeping in mind. Now, the big altcoins have outperformed. Now, there's quite a few of them, but Solana, for example, has outperformed Bitcoin by about 200%. As an example, Avalanche, this was done the other day, so it's 12.8% for Avalanche. But a lot of blockchains, Telegram Open Network, the Ton coin, underperformed Bitcoin by 14%, XRP underperformed by 24%, Ethereum underperformed by 25%, BINANCE coin underperformed by 62%. For some people out there trying to play the game, trying to make money, chasing around the next hot thing all the time, buying high, selling low, for some people in this market, honestly, the best thing to do is probably just to buy and hold Bitcoin dollar cost average in and just not even think about it. Because over time, Bitcoin historically has done pretty gosh darn well, even at these current prices, right? Now, like I said in my video the other day, I'm not currently buying any more Bitcoin. I think that, yeah, there'll be some more time for Bitcoin to have its moment, but give it a year, give it 18 months, it's going to be altcoins that are going to be the ones that are going to be the big winners. And altcoins, of course, doing big things. Polygon doing 10 million transactions the other day. What? That's huge, 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 huge levels of adoption here happening for Polygon. Big past few months for them. Huge, huge volumes. We've seen days where it spikes up to 15 million transactions. Absolutely crazy. So big stuff going on over Polygon. Definitely not an ecosystem that I would fade, even though I don't currently own any Polygon. I have very fond memories of Polygon, and I'd always consider rebuying it. Took a lot of profits on it. It was great. I would consider buying more in the future. Solana just hit a new all-time high in terms of consecutive days live. Days without accident. Haha. Solana reaches new all-time highs in days since last network outage. I think this is going to be one of those situations that happens less and less moving into the future. And I know, because I've done it and we've all done it. We've all savaged Solana for all of its network outages, as it well deserved to be. Come on, you have to, right? But Solana has had great uptime. And let's not all pretend like other early blockchain networks didn't have problems, because they have. Bitcoin's not 100% uptime either. Bitcoin's like 99.98%, but that's because back in the early days, there were a few oopsies, like the time somebody exploited the inflation bug and printed 184 billion Bitcoin. Or Ethereum had a few oopsies at the start, like when they, forked the blockchain because of the DAO hack, which was very controversial, led to the creation of the now useless Ethereum Classic. Stuff happens. So I congratulate Solana for continuing to be online. Cool stuff. Now, this is interesting. Patrick Scott here pointing out Solana did 70% of Ethereum's DEX volume over the past 24 hours. And I'm not surprised, to be honest, because I was doing some farming, some airdrop farming. When we talked about that in the newsletter this week, I was doing some airdrop farming over on Solana today. I don't know. I did like 20 transactions, 25 transactions, and it probably cost me, I don't know, let's say $1. Let's go high end here. It probably cost $1, right? Had I done 25 transactions on Ethereum, that probably would have cost at a minimum $250, potentially much more. It's crazy, crazy. I understand why we are seeing massive surges in decentralized exchange volume on these other networks. Arbitrum also 65%, Polygon 36%, Binance Smart Chain 31%. Huge, huge volumes soaring up. Arbitrum, of course, starting to really catch that Ethereum bid, because people who want to still have all that Ethereum experience and not go to Solana for whatever reasons are going over to Arbitrum. Still got a big fat bag of Arbitrum. Hasn't done very much because the token does not really capture a lot of value. One of these days, though, people are going to wake up and go, you know what? We need to pump Arbitrum because it's time. It's time to pump Arbitrum. It's the most damn used layer 2 network by far. Yeah. Crazy stuff, though. I mean, look, I got stuff I just have to do on Ethereum sometimes. Like I've been doing a lot of Prisma farming. We talked about that one here and in the newsletter and on X and stuff. So I hope you guys caught that. It's been a pretty lucrative farm, to be honest. And I've been doing a bunch of Prisma farming, and then you got to like claim your tokens and restake your tokens and convex finance and all this stuff. And it, you know, it costs a lot in gas fees to do that. It's not pleasant, let's say, but you got to do what you got to do. Oh, here's another one for Arbitrum, by the way. Since we just mentioned Arbitrum, Arbitrum is going to have Ape Chain be developed on Arbitrum. Pretty cool. Now, this is, of course, for the board apes, ape coin, ape chain thing. Like, pretty exciting news, regardless, because the board apes and ape coin, it's all very, very big in terms of mind share and money and all the rest of the stuff. So that coming over to Arbitrum, that's a big deal. And I think it's great. Be very interested to see what the ape chain game, all that stuff ends up looking like, what their metaverse looks like. It's going to be very cool. By the way, speaking of gaming, we had a great report this week on Web3 gaming on Avalanche. It's a free-to-read article over at thewealthmastery.io. So go and check it out if you want to learn more about what's going on with Avalanche Gaming, because it's definitely something that's been getting a lot of conversation online recently. So check it out if you're interested. And of course, if you're not signed up yet to the Wealth Mastery newsletter, you got to get signed up. Best damn newsletter in the cryptocurrency game by far. And I know I keep saying that, but it is my newsletter and it is awesome. And I'm biased, but I'm biased because it's awesome. So check it out. Every single issue, we're talking about altcoins. We're talking about altcoin alpha. We have altcoin reports, technical analysis, NFT mints, the latest breaking news, and much, much more. Link in the description. We can join our 90,000 weekly readers for free. It's free. Check it out. Okay, let's open up the floor to your questions. I see you guys over here. Been asking some great questions in the chat. We'll be getting into these now. Let's see if we can find a good question to get started off with here. Marco says, Lark, you got the Superman hair curl going. I know. This hair is a beast sometimes. Hard to tame it. All right, where are we up to here? Billy Bigelow, good question. Lark, if ETFs are approved in January, when will the Bitcoin funds go live? We don't definitively know that. It could be a very, very short time frame, or it could be around like 6 weeks. We shall see. We don't know, unfortunately. We can look at historical precedents of when the SEC has approved for these new assets to go and start trading, and sometimes we see it in a few days, sometimes it takes weeks. So we'll watch out. Daniel, thanks for the super chat, man. Happy boy world. Is it good to trade now? I already have Doge on profit and want some SOL. I mean, you got to look at charts, man. Now is a very subjective statement because there's so many different assets. What are you doing? Are you looking for shorts? Are you looking for longs? What asset are you looking at? Are you trading in dollars versus are you trading in Bitcoin? A lot of different things, a lot of different charts to look at. I can't tell you if now is a good time to trade or not, but I would say that in general, now is been a pretty good time for trading because there's been a lot of price volatility. And generally, a good time to trade is when you actually have volatility, preferably to the upside, because the upside is a lot more attractive and interesting and fun than shorting the markets. But yeah, it's been pretty good trading over the past few months. Obviously, as markets get more heated, it increases the chance that we're going to see a decent correction. But do we get that before the Bitcoin ETF approval or not? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Daniel DeJong, what do you think of Grok? Are you talking about the meme coin or the new AI thing? If it's a new AI thing, I haven't actually had a chance to try it. So I can't give an opinion on it. I'm on the wait list. If you're talking about the meme coin, I think it was a clever meme coin to launch, let's say, because Obviously, it's done very, very well. One of my buddies, he was talking about this early, and I was gonna get it, but like we were traveling at the time. I was like, "Oh, dude, check it out when we get back." And we get back, and oh, right, it's already like pumped like crazy. Anyway, I guess missed that one. But it's a clever meme coin because you know that Elon Musk is going to be constantly tweeting about his Grok AI. So the Grok meme coin gets constant attention because of that. Not because Elon's not tweeting about the meme coin, to be clear, but he's just tweeting in general about Grok, which will bring more eyes on the meme coin inevitably. So very clever, very clever. John. Oh, this is a great question. John says, when you get to where you want with your crypto and you don't want to put all your money back into your main wallet to cash out, would you recommend putting it into a stable coin? It's tricky. It's tricky because a few different reasons. Let's say you do really good, life-changing money. You've gone from having thousands of dollars net worth to like 10 million bucks. You've basically won the lottery. Congratulations, by the way. And you're sitting there, you're looking at your 10 million bucks, like, gonna put all in stable coins, chill. Okay. There's some things to think about in that situation. Obviously, still got to pay the tax, man. So you're gonna have to take, I don't know what your tax rate is where you live, between 20 to 50%, depending on your country, and give that to the tax man. So that money's gonna have to come out, can't stay in stable coins. Okay, so now you're left, let's say $7.5 million sitting in stable coins. What are you gonna do with it? Just wait to buy the bottom? That's a good strategy. You can do that. Absolutely. Going to DeFi, careful. Even the most OG DeFi platforms get hacked. Money is lost daily in DeFi hacks. DeFi is a very exciting, lucrative, and very dangerous area of the cryptocurrency market. So be careful. You could lose all your money. Obviously, you don't want to go jumping back into some random shit coins at the top. That's the way to lose. 90% of the gains that you just made is safer, of course, to stay in stable coins. You have to then keep in mind, if you have $7.5 million in this example sitting on one wallet, well, what happens if you get hacked? You screwed up some point somewhere. Yeah, you gave some unlimited permission to some DeFi app 2 years ago on your wallet. They get hacked. All your money's gone. Happens. It happens. These are all things to think about, right? So you may want to consider taking, I don't know, maybe some more of that and diversifying it out beyond stable coins. Now, if the whole plan is, okay, I'm just gonna keep it all in stable coins and we're gonna just sell, rebuy the bottom, run it all up again next time, 10x that money in the next cycle, get up to 50 million bucks, repeat, rinse, repeat until you have enough money to buy a big island somewhere and just retire, I guess, right? But just keep in mind, there are risks with stable coins. And of course, what happened last market cycle, UST collapsed. That ended up being a very dangerous stable coin. In fact, a lot of stable coins collapsed. The big ones, only ones that are probably really safe, quote unquote, USDT, USDC, and Makers DAI. Everything else is still very early and experimental. Even those are, to some extent, a bit experimental. USDC had a pretty big depeg. They depegged by almost 10%. I think about 10% when that bank collapsed. So that can happen. Obviously, that ended up being fine, but that would have been a few stressful days for you if you had parked everything into USDC. You might have thought, gosh, I need to now move this into USDT. So you're paying a premium to buy USDT. You're selling USDC at a loss for 10%. You just lose $750,000 because you freak out about your stablecoin being safe or not. My plan, I will leave some in stablecoins, absolutely. But my plan, I'm going to take quite a bit of money out of the market completely, put it into stocks, maybe put it into real estate, reinvest into the business, stuff like that. Leave just some cash sitting in the bank account for, I don't know, rainy day stuff. And keep some in stable coins to, keep things moving forward, find new venture investments, ape into shit coins at the bottom of the market, all that kind of fun stuff, right? Hope that gives some food for thought. Okay, where are we up to next? Tyler, the Fibonacci hair swirl. Yes. All right. Let me see here. There's a few super chats. Let's see if we can find those. Red Star, what's your thoughts on Cardano? Cardano's got a huge community. Generally a fan of what Cardano has, done for me, making me a bunch of money off of my Cardano play. I feel like they have definitely lagged behind in terms of getting the general sort of, the money on chain and stuff like that. And look, TVL's been going up. I don't want to misrepresent the situation here. Total value lock's been going up on Cardano. More apps are deploying on Cardano. Finally, right? I feel like last bull market, it was a missed opportunity to, that they came out with everything so late into the cycle. Now we've got a more highly functional blockchain in Cardano, so maybe they have better potential moving to this market cycle. So we'll see how they go. Obviously, the community behind Cardano is absolutely massive, and that alone is enough to pump the coin like crazy. So keep an eye out for that, especially if we get some big airdrops happening on Cardano or something like that. That could bring a lot of money real fast into Cardano. Okay. Lee, thanks for the super chat, man. Jesus Coin just hit 10K holders. It's rising. God bless. God bless too, man. Jed Dill, what is your plan if the ETF does not get approved by January 10th? Buy more. Doesn't really matter to me, man. Honestly, I know we talk about the Bitcoin ETF a lot, but at the end of the day, I don't really care. It's going to be great when it happens because it's going to bring in tens of billions of liquidity, and it's when, not if. I really believe that we're getting a Bitcoin ETF. It's the only question when we're getting the Bitcoin ETF. If it doesn't get approved on the 10th, I'm buying that dip because the market will dip. The market will probably be like, oh my gosh, they're never going to approve a Bitcoin ETF. This is the end of all things. Panic now, repent. I'll buy the dip. Thank you very much if that happens. Because look, even without the Bitcoin ETF, we were going to go to the moon. This just takes our trip to the moon from, driving there nice and casually to like a rocket fueled journey of insanity, liquidity wise, of course. Okay, let's see if I find another super chat here. Here we go. Another one. Vikram, what are your thoughts on Chainlink? Of course, guys, try to answer all questions. I just know if you sent through a super chat, I'll try to make sure I get your question as well. But I'll answer all questions here. You don't have to send a super chat. Get your question answered. Chainlink, very bullish, got a giant bag. Wish I had got into staking. Staking closed before general access opened up because, of course, it freaking did. Anyway, congratulations to the stakers, obviously. And yeah, I think CCIP, everything going on Chainlink is absolutely massive. It's a bit complicated. Not everybody fully understands it. Those who do are going to, I think, benefit in the future, to be honest, as we will see the price of Chainlink. I don't know, maybe go up to like 140, 150 bucks, maybe even higher. But that's kind of been my target. I'm thinking like, yeah, 140 bucks. My $7 entry is going to be like a 20x. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Okay. Patrick, interesting question. Lark, don't you worry that the huge pump will lead to a massive correction and a crash before the halving and slow down the 2024 bull market afterwards? I don't think that that's necessarily the case. But I mean, look, anything's possible in the market. Let's just keep that clear. But only really, I think, if we get a big U.S. recession that is so brutal that funds don't bring a bunch of money into Bitcoin ETFs and retail investors don't bring a bunch of money into Bitcoin ETFs, then that could be a problem. But I think right now, what we are looking at personally is that we are going to see probably some kind of short correction. If we get the Bitcoin ETF approved, there'll probably be a little bit of a sell the news thing, but eventually, fundamentally, it's buy the rumor, buy the news. So any dips, in my opinion, are worth buying. That will be my general plan here for the market. Not financial advice. You guys will figure out how you want to play that yourselves, but yeah. Okay. Fix and flip bros. What is the most return coin starting now in the top 50? I understand that financial advice. Look, man, here is the straight and simple fact. Nobody's going to be able to tell you exactly what coin in the top 50 is going to have the best returns. I mean, what are we talking about? Best returns? Best returns tomorrow, next week, next month? By the peak of the bull market? I have no idea. Nor does anybody else. I would say, if you're looking at the top 50, a lot of good coins there, a lot of good blockchains in there, a lot of good decentralized applications in there. Like, there's some 10, 20, 30x moves in the top 50, maybe even more if things get really crazy. Don't try to be too obsessed with catching like the perfect move, right? Buying the perfect bottom, selling the perfect top. It doesn't happen. Almost nobody does it. Try to think about, okay, set some realistic goals. What are some things that I can dollar cost average into after I've studied them and done my own research on them? Because you have to believe in them to some extent. You have to know what's going on, right? If you have no idea what Chainlink's about, but you just buy a big bag and then, well, it goes down 10% and you sell it. You bought high, you sold low, classic mistake because you have no idea what you're holding. But if you actually do your research and you go into it and you're like, okay, oh, actually, wow, this is really powerful. This has a chance to do something really, really big. I'm going to just keep cost averaging in while the prices are still, relatively low, early in the market cycle, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then when prices get higher, I'll start laddering out. Generally how winning is done in the market. If you're looking for like what's the one coin that's going to be the most money like next week, like you're going to get in trouble. I'll keep it simple. Okay. A deal. Hey, Lark. Hey, we're having a great day. I am great. I'm having a great time. Pleasure to talk to you guys as always. Honestly, one of my favorite parts of the week and hang out, especially the live chats. They're great. I hope you guys appreciate the news segments at the front as well. Give my opinion on stuff. But yeah, getting to talk to you guys is awesome. So what's your all-time high target for ETH this cycle? I think 10K would be a nice place, to be honest. It's my personal prediction. We could go as high as like 15K. I've seen some higher predictions, but the danger with those higher predictions is, those are the ones that get you trapped, right? Like 100K Bitcoin, like we're going to go to 100K for sure. And then it doesn't. And then you're like, oh, well, is it still going to go 100K? Oh, shit, my bags are all down. And you're in trouble. Yeah. So look, I think 10K would be a realistic place. Like when I see ETH get to 10K, which I think has got a pretty good chance of doing that this market cycle, when I see a 10K ETH, it's like, oh, all right, well, we should start getting ready. The selling time may come sooner than we think. Maybe punts a little farther, but you start watching really, really close to those market conditions. Then has the Pi cycle indicator flashed on Bitcoin yet? Where's Coinbase in the App Store? Is it number 1 or is it number 50 still? It's number 50. And probably still some pump left for Ethereum as new money comes in and we get up to the top 5 or top 10 for the App Store for Coinbase, so on and so forth. Is that old friend called yet, right? What are the monthly indicators looking like? Is the RSI at 60 at 10K or is the RSI at 90 at 10K on the monthly? Big difference. One of those says still room in the tank, fuel in the tank left for the run. The other is saying, yeah, might want to start laddering out. That's my thought anyway. Edward, what do you think about Injective? I think that I should have bought more. Actually, I started, I'm trying to farm some potential airdrops on Injective. There's what is like the Helix app, the Talus NFT marketplace. So Helix, HELIX app, and Talus, TALIS. It's an NFT marketplace. Helix is just like a standard DeFi app, swapping and stuff like that. They have bots, whatever. So we'll see. See if I can get some sweet airdrops out of those. Maybe the Injective ecosystem is completely underserved attention-wise. People talk about the INJ asset quite a bit because it's mooned like crazy. It's up 20x this year or whatever. But not a lot of people are talking about INJ ecosystem plays and potential airdrops in the INJ ecosystem. All it takes is one of those epic airdrops, like we saw with Solana and Jito, that brought in it's 20. Yeah, sorry, swearing on air here, trying to do that too much. But anyway, Jito at $4 means that was $20,000. The smallest airdrop that anybody got was worth $20,000 for that airdrop. Injective could have something like that, or maybe just more Solana airdrops from also farming, by the way. Sprinkle, any hope for band protocol to do something this cycle? No idea, man. Haven't thought about band in years. Lark, any thoughts on Launchpads like paid network pre-sales seeming to pick up? Yeah, look, there's going to be a lot of pre-sales coming. If you want to play the token sale game, try and get into those ICOs, like investing your time and energy in trying to get yourself well positioned in some of these big launch pads could turn out pretty well. right? It's a whole another level of game right there, trying to get into these launch pads and getting yourself positioned for them. Like some of the biggest ones, of course, have been like CoinList. Man, those guys tend to get some of the really, like Solana was an ICO on CoinList. Did you guys know that? So some of the CoinList ones have been really, really big. Watch out for those. Of course, if you don't get into them right now, it's quite interesting actually. Look at some of the CoinList ICOs that launched kind of during the bear market in 2023, earlier 2023. Some of those really haven't got the big market attention yet. Some of them have, others have not. Might be something there. But yeah, paid network, DAOmakers launched a lot of very high return sales over time. You got to go out, you got to go buy their tokens, you got to stake their tokens in some situations, whatever. There's different requirements for different platforms, but in general, get their tokens, stake them somehow, hold them in your wallet, whatever it might be. And then you're going to usually get into a lottery system. Now, to be clear, just winning one of those lotteries can be absolutely massive. Like we covered a few of those. Like, for example, My Neighbor Alice, that was like 600x or something when it came out. Anybody who got into that token sale minted money. And people got in. Thousands of people got in. So there you go. Nico says, always wondered if Lark sells any Bitcoin at the end of the cycle or only plays alts. Well, I've been thinking about the end of this cycle. I might sell a third of my Bitcoin, try to rebuy lower. It's always a gamble, of course, if that works or not. But my Bitcoin bag's big enough that, if I lost a third of my Bitcoin and couldn't rebuy lower, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. But I don't know. I have a strong emotional attachment to my Bitcoin. It's going to be hard to do. The altcoins, not so much. The altcoins, we'll sell for cash. That'll be fine. We'll see. We'll see how crazy things get near the end of the bull cycle. If I even need to do that. Well, not that I need to do it, but whether I want to do it, right? Lark, when did you start the silver blush? Silver blush. What are you talking about? Maybe it's the lighting. I don't use blush. We're up to now. Lark, let's talk about Beam, says Greg. I assume you're talking about the new Beam, the formerly Merit Circle, not the old privacy coin name Beam. Yeah, I like Beam. I've got Beam. I farmed a whole truckload of it back in the day, claimed my staking rewards, held on to them as Merit Circle, transitioned those into Beam. I'm bullish on gaming. So they've done a lot of stuff. I think a bullish asset overall. Got a big bag, not planning on selling anytime soon. Might even add to that bag. We'll see. It's pumped up quite a bit recently. Would like to see a bit more of a pullback on that before adding more. My bag's big enough. I don't need to add more, but I think it's got some nice potential for this market cycle. A lot of things are coalescing behind that. The gaming hype, the Avalanche hype. So I'm happy I've got a big bag. Let me see here. Huge Bitcoin move down. Oh, it was a decent little Bitcoin move down there, wasn't there? Look at that. Look at that, guys. Down to 40K while we're sitting here having this conversation. Yikes. Yikes. What's up? What's up? To go dissect that in a little bit. Holy cow. Must be some kind of news floating around the market there. I don't have the answers for you for that right now, but yeah, that was a nice little move right there. Bounced down to 40K. Bouncing back up currently. Interesting. Something is afoot in the markets, my friends. I don't know what. I'm talking to you guys, but something is up. What's up? I don't know. But very interesting. Very interesting. These flushes will happen all the time. And honestly, it's nothing to get too excited about, if you ask me. This kind of stuff happens all the time. I mean, you got to put it all in perspective, right? Where we are, how far we've come. It is a decent move for today, though. I mean, we're down 8% on the day. Let's bring the daily chart up here. Let's throw the chart back on the screen here real quick. We got, it's a nice little daily candle there, isn't it, huh? 8% down for today. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. I like it. I like it. Corn Milk says Elizabeth Warren did this to you. Croc says an Iranian oil refinery mysteriously caught fire. That could be spooky markets, of course. You never know. You never know. All coins going down. Crypto just plummeted. Long squeeze. The CME gap. Yes. Yeah. Damn, Willie. Was that Willie we were talking about the other day? He was talking about that CME gap down at 40K. He was right. Willie was right. The CME gaps remain undefeated. Now we have 29 of 30 CME gaps have filled. CME gaps, man. I tell you, the Wall Street games are here, guys. The Wall Street games are here. Look at that. Look at that. All right. I think we're going to finish up for today. This has been a great chat as always. Let's go. I'm going to go investigate what's going on with the markets here. I post about it on Twitter if you want to see what my thoughts are on it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining today's stream. I appreciate you all very much, and I'll see you next time.